by promoting the region worldwide, everywhere, in Europe, in Asia. Our strongest focus right now is on Europe, because research has pointed out that 60% of our foreign direct investment, or FDI, as our jargon uses that acronym, our FDI, 60% of it comes from 6 or 7 countries in Europe. Canada is a major focus as well, especially with the low dollar. Canada is increasingly interested in investing in Ohio and in Northeast Ohio. Oh, many. First of all, I think our diverse industry. We are good at so many things. Polymers, first of all, but also automotive, medical devices, biomedical, metalworking, instruments and controls. We really do many things, and we do many things well. And that's appealing to companies that are looking to expand in the United States. Our main strategy is to look at our key industries. You know, we've looked at our region of Cleveland, Akron, Youngstown, Canton, and looked and studied to see what are we good at. And our core industries of instruments and controls and metalworking, medical devices, biomedical, those are our industries that we focus on. Advanced energy is another important up-and-coming sector, and with that I mean wind energy, fuel cells, solar. So these are industries that we go after by attending trade shows and scheduling appointments with companies that exhibit at these trade shows, and we'll tell them how good we are. And often that leads to site visits. I'm glad to say very, very well. We just talked about our diversity of industries, our good location. We really have it all. I did not talk yet about the arts and entertainment that is here, but I think many people in the region already know this. Outside of the regions they don't, but we have one of the best theater districts outside of New York City. Our Cleveland Orchestra really is, I think, almost better known and more renowned outside of the US than inside. It's really one of the top 3 orchestras worldwide, and that's huge. Our art museum is fantastic. So really, you know, our professional sports teams. So we have it all. It's the culture, it's the arts, sports, but also, of course, business. And that is what my organization is all about. We try to attract businesses worldwide. The organization, the mission is to be a welcoming center for new residents, and that is so important. You bring in businesses, with these businesses come new residents, and we want to make sure that they're at home, whether they're from Bangladesh, India, or whether they're from Africa or California, a migrant worker from California. We want to make sure that they all find a home here. In addition to that, as we have growing businesses right here and try to attract new businesses, we want to make sure we have the workers and the workforce to work for those businesses. So talent attraction is very, very important, and that is also one of the core missions of Global Cleveland, and it's great that they're doing this. I'm so glad to say this, that the state of Ohio used to be a tough state in terms of the taxes. We were ranked pretty low. And just this year, a couple months ago, Ernst & Young put out a study and ranked Ohio as a state the number 3 best state in terms of its tax structure, and a most advantageous state in terms of its low taxes. So that's good right there. There's tons. My work in many ways is, once we have talked to businesses and they've expressed an interest for a visit, my main job is to be a connector, to listen what their needs are, and then to find the right resource to connect the business to. If it's a biomedical company, we often work together with BioEnterprise, the organization that helps spin off new biomedical companies and helps attract biomedical companies as well. Or if they need legal expertise, we are very blessed in this region with a ton of very good lawyers, both immigration or patent law or corporate law. Taxes, the same thing. We have many good accounting firms. So I try to connect those companies, as do my colleagues in my organization, to make sure that they get the help they need. Northeast Ohio is home to more than 600 foreign-owned companies, which is an amazing number if you compare that to other regions in the United States. It's really a phenomenal number, and historically we have had many foreign-owned companies. Why? Because of our market, because of our location, and because of our infrastructure. And there are companies from Japan, the Netherlands, Germany, and they're thriving, they're growing. Most recently, some of our real big multinationals have made investments here, not just in manufacturing, but also in R&D. And I think that's great. They're hooking up with our existing universities, like Philips Medical Systems, put in a worldwide center for imaging. ExxonMobil is bringing its largest paint company in the world actually, and they have recently brought in their R&D for coatings and paint to Northeast Ohio, and they could have gone anywhere in the world, yet they chose Strongsville, our region, and that's phenomenal. Location. I often, because they think of the United States and they think, oh, you know what, I went to Harvard, so I'm thinking about putting my business in Boston. And I'm like, why would you do that? You're in a corner of the country. Why don't you come to the center of where it's all happening? There's starting from Chicago towards the West Coast, that's more flyover country, but really between Cleveland, or in the greater Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio region, you're in the middle, as I said before, of the action and of really the core industries and the motor of America. You're in between Chicago, New York, you're south of Toronto, and often foreign companies forget that and they don't know necessarily about our region. But when you start talking about it, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. So there's lots of good reasons to be here, and the location is number one. And then, of course, the cost of doing business is much lower. And businesses ultimately are about doing money, about making money. Right. And if you tell them they can save money by coming here versus Chicago or versus New York, you see their eyes twinkle and they listen. They love Cleveland. It's amazing. I sometimes feel like Northeast Ohio, people in Cleveland, they need a psychologist because they're always so down on their city. But then I bring in either foreign business executives or my own family from Europe, and pretty much everybody says this is a great city. How amazing that you don't get stuck in traffic like we did in Boston or New York when we visited there. They love our culture, our sports, and I've often heard people remark that we're almost like a little New York City, and I think that's true. We've got our downtown, our midtown, and then our district with University Circle, and it's just amazing. And it's great to hear these positive comments. And very often, once we get people to come and visit, they love it, and then the chance that they will set up a business is pretty good. So getting them here often is tough, but once they're here, they love it.